The Lacy V crochet stitch has a surprising special ability that I think most of you are going to absolutely love. The Lacy V crochet stitch is beautiful. There's a lot of depth and dimension in this stitch. It is so much fun to work up. We don't have to worry about counting our stitches in the rows because the way the pattern is designed. Just by accomplishing the pattern, you accomplish all of the stitches required for that row. So big win there for anyone who does not like counting their stitches in every row. Now it is a 4-row repeat, so we are going to have to learn everything that we have to do in all 4 rows, but what's great is because each row is so different, all you have to do is refer to the row below to know what you need to do next. So you don't even really have to count what row you are on to know what to do, because all you have to do is look at the row below and know, oh, this is what's next, this is what's next, and it's awesome. So I really appreciate that pattern for that reason as well. This pattern is actually a pattern I've been looking for a very long time. I will share with you why at the end of the video, and it'll make a lot of sense what you can do special with this pattern that is really, really neat. Okay, so when it comes to this pattern, the Lacy V crochet stitch, the crochet level I'm going to say it is an advanced beginner crocheter level. We're working basic stitches, just double crochets, single crochets, and chains. That's really it. And even the way we are arranging those stitches, it's pretty easy to pick up. So I think this is going to be a fun one for most people because, like I said, working those basic stitches, once you have the pattern down, you don't have to count your stitches, don't have to count your rows, and you just can really immerse yourself into the project and just go without thinking, which a lot of us appreciate for that relaxing meditative project. The terminology I am using for this pattern is US terminology, so whenever I'm referring to the name of a stitch, I'm using US terms. The multiple stitch count requirement for the Lacy V crochet stitch is a multiple of 3 plus 2. And when I'm working up the swatch, I will overemphasize how to work up a multiple stitch count requirement for those of you who still struggle with that. So you'll get it. You'll understand what that means and how to accomplish whatever it is that you want to make with this pattern. So excited. Okay, the materials I'm going to use for this demonstration, they're just basic materials so I can show you how to do the stitch, but if you really want to know what I am using, a size 4 weight worsted medium Aran 10-12 ply or 8 WPI sized yarn. This is Loops Threads Impeccable Yarn. I believe the color is linen, though I may be wrong, but it's Loops Threads Impeccable Yarn. The crochet hook I'm going to be using is the H8 or 5mm crochet hook, a yarn needle or tapestry needle to weave in those ends at the end of your project, whatever it is that you are making, and a pair of scissors, have on hand. All right, let's go ahead and begin. Like I said, I'm going to just make a small swatch example so that way I can show you what to do, how to get through each row, what to expect. And then you can take what I show you and manipulate the number of stitches to create whatever it is that you want to create with this pattern. So starting with a tail long enough for us to weave in our ends at the end of the project. Go ahead and create your slip knot. Attach your crochet hook. We are ready to begin. So it's a multiple of 3 plus 2. And again, I'm going to be just making a small swatch example. So multiple of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So multiple of 3. Got that covered. So I have a total of 12 stitches here and then plus 2. 1, 2. So basically do the multiple of 3 until you have met the dimension, the width dimension of whatever it is that you want to make, and then add 2. Here we go. So I have 12, 13, 14 stitches in my little example here. For row 1, we are going to make 1 double crochet stitch in the 5th chain from our crochet hook. So looking at our V stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, double crochet. That skipped 4 chains counts as our first double crochet stitch plus chain 1, so that this is technically our first V stitch. Skip 2 chains, 1, 2. In that 3rd chain, make a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Skip 2 stitches, 1, 2. In that 3rd stitch, make a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. And that's the repeat pattern for row 1. You're just going to skip 2 chains, skip 2 stitches, and in the next stitch space, make that double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. In the very last chain of row 1, you will make your last V-stitch, or double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, even in that very last stitch space. That's how we will end row 1. Let's move on to row 2. So for row 2, we will start by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn our work. That chain 3 does count as our very first double crochet stitch. To begin row 2, we will make 2 double crochet stitches inside that first chain 1 space. 1, 2. Perfect. And for the rest of row 2, all we are doing is making 3 double crochet stitches in the chain 1 space. So literally just locate where's the next chain 1. It's not between the V stitches here where there's a 2 stitch variation from the foundation row. Look for the V stitches with the chain 1s and make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Skip over, find that V stitch, find the chain 1, make 3 double crochet stitches. If you do not pay attention to this and you just go ahead and continue making 3 double crochet stitches between all of the double crochet stitches, let me show you what it'll look like. Setting this down. So here is row 2 where we are just making the 3 double crochet stitches in the chain 1 space. This is the correct way. This is what we want. Here is what it looks like when you just make 3 double crochet stitches between like every double crochet stitch. It looks more crowded, and it honestly just looks like it's 1 double crochet stitch in each stitch space all the way across, and we don't want that. That's not going to create the pattern that we want. We want there to be a space right here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and back it up. And do what I'm supposed to do and make 3 double crochet stitches in the chain 1 space. Now at the very end of row 2, you'll see that we have that chain 4 turning chain that we had in the very beginning. We're just going to make all 3 of our double crochet stitches in this giant space at the very end of the row. 1, 2, and 3. All right, so here we go. This is what hopefully you are looking at right now. We got all of these spaces between the stitches so it looks very spread out. Yeah, that is hopefully what you're looking at right now. Let's move on to row 3. So for row 3, we start by chaining 1. We turn our work. Great. To start row 3, we are going to make 1 single crochet stitch in the first 2 stitch spaces. 1, 2, then chain 3. 1, 2, 3, skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and single crochet in that 3rd stitch space. Now this just so happens to be the very center double crochet stitch of the 3 double crochet stitches that we made. So either way, if you want to count your stitches and be like 1, 2, single crochet, 1, 2, single crochet, you can do that, or you can just refer to the pattern and go 1, 2, 3 chains, look for that center double crochet stitch, and single crochet in that center double crochet stitch. Same thing, it'll get you in the same spot. Okay, 1, 2, 3, skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, single crochet in the next. When you get to the very end of row 3, after you skip 2 stitches, single crochet in the next stitch, you're going to make 1 more single crochet stitch in that top turning chain. So 1, 2, 3. So there's 2 single crochet stitches right next to each other to begin the row and to end the row for symmetry. 2 and 2. That is how row 3 will look. Okay, let's move on to row 4. Row 4, we will chain 1. We will turn our work. Great, we are flying, guys. Okay, for row 4, we will make 1 single crochet stitch in the first stitch space. So 1 single crochet, and then we chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Find the chain 3 from the row below and single crochet around that chain 3. Single crochet. And that's the repeat pattern, guys. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and single crochet around the next chain 3. Again, one of those things where you don't even really have to count where your stitches are. You just follow the pattern. 1, 2, 3, single crochet around the next chain 3. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and you will end row 4 by making 1 single crochet stitch in the very last stitch space. Boom, just like that. So this is what we are looking at the end of row 4. Perfect. Row 5. For row 5, we are going to start by chaining 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn our work. Now that chain 4 counts as our first double crochet plus chain 1. We will make 1 double crochet stitch in this chain 3 section. Oops, need to yarn over first. Double crochet, and this will technically count as my first V-stitch. Find the next chain 3 section and make a V-stitch in that chain 3 section. So double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Find the next chain 3 section, right there. V-stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. And that's the repeat pattern across row 5. Next chain 3, you will end with a V-stitch in a chain 3 section. It'll feel weird, like, no, I need to like close it somehow. It's not in the pattern, okay? So literally, you will end row 5 by making that V-stitch in the last chain 3 section, and then stop That's it. We will even out the rows by working the other rows. The V-stitch row just seems to be the one oddball row that is like slanted on the sides, but every other row should have straightness on the sides. Guys, that's it. That is the repeat pattern. So what we will do next is repeat, I think, what do I have here? We're repeating row 2 through row 5. So row 2 is the 3 double crochet stitches in each chain 1 space. So to repeat row 2, I will chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn my work. That chain 3 does count as my first double crochet stitch, and then I will make 2 more double crochet stitches in that first chain 1 space. 1, 2, and then go about making 3 double crochet stitches in the chain 1 spaces all the way across. 1, 2, 3. Now what is beautiful about this pattern, now like I said before in the beginning, once you get the pattern down, it's really easy to just refer to the row below to know what you're supposed to be doing in your current row. If I see in the row below that I just made my V-stitches, then I know that right now I need to be making the 3 double crochet stitches in the chain 1 space between my V-stitch. When I get to the next row, I'll see all of these groups of 3 double crochet stitches, and I know, okay, this is the row that I need to make 2 single crochet stitches and then start my chain 3 single crochet in the middle double crochet stitch. Chain 3 single crochet in the middle double crochet stitch. And then after that row, I will look and I'll be like, oh, I see that this row, the row below, has all these chain 3 sections. I know in this row I need to do 1 single crochet and then chain 3 and single crochet in the chain 3 section. So it may take a second for you to work up your first 2 repeats, like work row 1 through 5 and be like, okay, so here is the basic, this is the foundation, and then work up row 6 through 11, which is your first repeat, and then be like, oh, I see how it's repeating. And then you can go back in your pattern and literally visually see, oh, this is how it goes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got it. And also, you don't have to count your stitches to know how that you're staying on track with how many stitches are in each row, which is awesome because just by accomplishing all of these V-stitches where they're supposed to go, all of these 3 double crochet stitches where they're supposed to go, and all of these chain 3s and single crochets where they're supposed to go, it just hits. So it's awesome. Super awesome stitch. I love it. So I mentioned in the beginning of the video also that I've been looking for this pattern for a long time, but it looked different. When I found this pattern, I didn't know what I found. I was just like, that's a cool stitch. I'm going to play with it. But once I played with it, I was like, this is the one I've been looking for. And this is why. Let me know in the comment section if you've ever seen this stitch before, where it looks like flowers. It literally looks like if you manipulate the colors and you color control the project, that the V-stitches look like the stem with the leaves. And then the 3 double crochet sections are the petals of the flower, the top of the flower. And then the 2 sections of the chain 3s are like the dirt foundation between the rows of flowers, almost like you're looking at a rose garden. And I've seen this pattern before. I didn't know how to do it, and I've been looking for this pattern for a long time because I was like, that's so pretty. And you could change the colors of the flowers. You could literally have like a garden blanket where each row of flower petals was a different color flower, or you could make them all yellow or all white. You could even change the shade of the green or change the brown to, like, you could obviously play with colors however you want to play with colors. But this also helps you greatly to identify what row pattern you're supposed to be doing. Because once you create the green stem, you're like, okay, next I have to make the flower. So you make the flower and you're like, okay, next I obviously have to make the dirt. So dirt, stem, flower, dirt, stem, flower. And it becomes a different pattern and becomes even easier for you to just remember in your brain. And the colors here that I'm using for this example, they're all Caron Simply Soft yarn, size 4 weight, worsted medium Aran, 10, 12 ply, 8 WPI sized yarn here is what I used. The colors that I used for this example, the green is a dark sage, the dark sage color, the red is just red, and the brown is chocolate brown, if you want these colors. But I think that honestly, you just sticking with the size yarn, the size 4 weight yarn, you can find whatever color that you want to make your details. And I thought that was beautiful. And I'm like, yes. And I also did not weave in the ends of this project because I wanted to show you how I changed colors. I changed colors at the end of each color section. I wanted the V-stitches, the stem. So I started the foundation row with green. Next row is the V-stitches. Those are the stems. So I wanted to keep that green. And then I cut the yarn. I cut it off. Then I reattached the red color, or the color I wanted for the flower petals, by slip stitching into the chain 1 section, then chaining 3, like starting the row, how we start the row with the turning chain, and then just going. After this row, I cut my yarn, leaving a tail, so that way it could be a clean color change. And I reattached the brown, slip stitching into the very first stitch space, chaining 1, for my turning chain and going like the regular instructions. Now I knew that the 2 rows of chain 3s were going to be my dirt rows, so I just made rows 1, 2, row 3 and row 4 brown, and then I cut my yarn and reattached green. Cut the yarn after that 1 row, attached red. Cut the yarn after that 1 row, attached brown. And that's how I did it. This is the cleanest way for me to color change, because now it is going to be a lot of ends, but it's going to be a very clean color change, like I said. There's other ways you could obviously color change in the row by bringing the colors up with you. I don't care for that method. I don't prefer that method. I prefer this method, but if you prefer the other method, it's easier for you. You like that method better, then feel free to do whatever you like. But again, I was super excited to find this, and I hope that this pattern here inspires you even more than just seeing this pattern with it all one solid color. Because now you kind of like have an image, like a picture that you can manipulate. Or if you don't want this, you just like that lacy V look, you could keep it all one color as well. Right, that's it guys. That's how you do the lacy V crochet stitch. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of the flower formations, how you might actually tackle this pattern. Will you want to keep it all one solid color? Or will you want to try to play with the different colors and making them look like flowers? Let me know. I would love to hear what you plan on doing. And as always, I do encourage you to give the stitch a try just to see if you like it, if it's one that that inspires you to create something, because that is always a lot of fun. The stitch card, you don't need that, is already created for you and ready to go on my website. So all you have to do is go to my website, crochetwithtiffany.com, to print that out. Remember, these are free. You're welcome to print out as many of these as you want. I print mine out on cardstock. Again, it's the Lacy V crochet stitch. Make your swatch, staple it to the card, and then you have a reference forever of what it looks like, what it felt like when you made it. And you can even write little notes in saying this was so much fun, or this is what I would like to do with this stitch in the future, or I didn't like this one, we're gonna just not do this one. Which is fair, that's totally fair. All right, if you like this video, do all the things guys, like, subscribe, check out my membership program. If you had fun with the stitch, I have so many more for you to check out. Check out this playlist I have right here for you. It's more of my stitch videos. Let's just keep going, have some more fun playing with crochet stitches, crocheting together. I hope you have a beautiful day, guys, and I will see you with my next video. Bye.